The next prestigious invited lecture is from the UAA. Now again, to deliver this, we have the President of the Urological Association of Asia, and that is Professor Pancho Birawo. He is currently the President of UAA, and he is a consultant urological surgeon in the University of Indonesia at the Faculty of Medicine in Jakarta. Over to you, Professor Birawo.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's an honor for me to speak in the Slaus urological surgeons. Today, I would like to present the UA lecture about the PCNL without fluoroscopy, where safety is a prime. I have no potential conflict of interest to disclose. This is the table of content of my presentation: introduction, case illustration, tips and tricks, and take-home message. So, why without X-ray? So, when we are doing the PCNL, usually we use the PCNL. Is X-ray safe? It depends on the simple math. One times, okay, but 2-3 times a day for 40 years, I think we have to discuss it very carefully. Yeah? So this is introduction to X-ray PCNL. Why we use the ATMD in X-ray free PCNL? So one time our fluoroscopy was broken in our hospital. To repair it, it takes time and it costs a lot. So we postpone all the patients. What happened? There are more than 100 patients waiting for the PCNL. Yeah. So I try to do the PCNL without the X-ray. So first is the guidance in PCNL. Usually there are some options. We can use complete fluoroscopy or complete ultrasound or combination ultrasound fluoroscopy or ultrasound and retrograde internal surgery or HRS. We can puncture the fluoroscopy or ultrasound and then we do the dilatation, also using the fluoroscopy or ultrasound guidance. There are advantages and disadvantages of the X-ray free PCNL. Of course, the advantages is safer to the patient and also for the surgeon. 30% less cost than fluoroscopy guided. We don't need the contrast media, and of course we do not need the SIAM facility. But there is disadvantages. One is the skill of the operator using the ultrasound. And then if the patient have mild or non-hydronephrosis, or the patient have the hydronephrosis, but the kidney is full of the stone, it's challenging cases. Yeah? And then there is an inability to clearly visualize and manipulate guide wire following the renal access. Learning curve of PCNL, there is a bias because usually we do the fluoroscopy first and then the surgeon going to the ultrasound. That's why the learning curve for the ultrasound PCNL is lower than the fluoroscopy guided PCNL. In our center, at least 20 patients needed to do the ultrasound or free PCNL. And then the critical skill is when the mastering the renal imaging using the ultrasound and also the controlling the needle during the puncture. The needle control techniques, there are longitudinal techniques and transfer techniques. And then the second part is about the dilatation of the track. We can use the Alkan metal telescopic dilator. We can use also Amplas fascia dilator. We can use also balloon dilators and so one-shot dilation. Of course, balloon dilator is more favorable. However, the balloon dilator is very costly. There is a comparison between the balloon and the Alkan telescopic metal dilator. Balloon dilator is superior in the hemoglobin drop, access time, and total operation time. Alkan telescopic metal dilator is superior in more cost effective. But there is no difference in transfusion rate, overall complication, successful dilation rate, stone-free rate, and length of stay. This is the main reason why Alkan telescopic metal dilator is favorable compared to balloon dilator, because the cost per procedure for the Alkan telescopic metal dilator is only $1.2 compared to balloon dilator single use $600. This is the case illustration, total free X-ray. This is male, 48 years old. The stone size is 6 times 4 centimeters. We plan to do the X-ray free PCNL and the removal of the double G stent. So the tools and materials is almost the same. The difference is only we use the ultrasound and we do not use the fluoroscopy. This is the position of the patient. Patient is supine position. This is modified lithotomy. Usually we use the spinal anesthesia. So after the patient under the anesthesia, we insert using URS. So this is OFU, the ureter catheter, and also guide wire. So inside the ureter there are two things. One is the ureter catheter and the second is the guide wire. And then we can do the water jet. And then we can see the water jet appearance here in the ultrasound. So we inject 50 millimeters into the ureter catheter, and then we can see the water jet appearance here. This is where the place that we do the puncture. Yeah. This is the ureter catheter. We can see the ultrasound. So at the end, we can see that there is irrigation water here that we can use during the dilatation. So during the dilatation, the most important thing that we can see the water come out from the Alkan telescopic metal dilator. Yeah. So the irrigation also prevent the migration stone into the ureter. After we put the ureter catheter, and then we change the position of the patient, from modified lithotomy by the placing the foot ipsilateral to the patient towards the midline of the body. So this maximizes the field of view and movement of the nephroscope. Before we start the puncture, we have to make sure that the needle is in the probe calibration. Yeah? We have to do that the needle is in line in the ultrasound. After that, we measure the distance of the stone to the skin. This is important. After we know that the distance is 5 centimeters, we make a mark in the our fascia dilator and also in Alkan telescopic metal dilator. This is the second safety part of the during the dilatation. And then we do the needle puncture, and then we insert the guide wire inside of the kidney. And then we do the fascia dilation. Sorry, the video is cannot working here. And then we do the Alkan metal dilator insertion. We have to make sure that the water comes out in the Alkan metal dilator, to make sure that the Alkan telescopic metal dilator is inside of the pelvic calyces. And then we insert the inner and outer amplas of the during the procedure. So this is once again at the end, we can take out the nitinol guide wire to make the procedure safer. Yeah. Because the stiff wire usually can make harm to the pelvic calyces. So inside of the kidney there are ureter catheter and also the guide wire. And then we do the stone fragmentation and removal as a standard procedure. This is the result after the procedure. After we did in 2021, and then there are these techniques issue spreading to another place in our country. So in our country, not every hospital can have a luxury to have the fluoroscopy. Or if the fluoroscopy is broken, they can still have service to the patient. And there is no significant difference in complication rate between the two groups. So the tips and tricks to begin is in non-obese patient, moderate hydronephrosis and non-Stockholm stone. Train your team to help during the procedure. General and spinal anesthesia can be employed. Use a good ultrasound machine and make sure that water is come out from the Alcan telescopic metal detector during the dilatation. So ultrasound guidance offers several advantages over fluoroscopy. The critical skill is renal imaging mastery, precise needle control, and ultrasound guide patient has much shorter learning curve because the surgeon is already get used to the normal PCNL. And I would like to invite you all next year to Taiwan for the UA meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Poncho, for that wonderful lecture and the great favor you did by visiting our small country and gracing this occasion. If you could make yourself to the center of the stage, you have a token of appreciation from our association.